our panel, and I am very excited to introduce Dollar Liu, who is a university student at Western University pursuing computer science and business. She is passionate about social impact and leads Roll Up Solutions, a social enterprise that refurbishes mobility devices and donates them to communities in need. Roll Up won the Pillar Nonprofit Award for Community Collaboration in 2019 and has been featured in Business London magazine. Currently, she works as a technology business analyst at BMO to help improve operational efficiency and cloud solutions. Welcome, Dollar.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Why is your name Dollar? This is one question I've been asked countless times in my life. One that you might be wondering as well. My name is weird, quirky, and most definitely memorable. In China, kids go by nicknames instead of their legal names, and my parents didn't want to choose just any nickname. They wanted something a little bit more unique. So they decided that since they were working in the financial industry at the time, if she was a girl, she'd be named Dollar. If he was a boy, he'd be named Mark, after the German currency. My dad would love to say, after all, everyone loves dollars. We moved to Canada when I was 5, and the name stuck with me. Growing up, I loved working with kids, and one summer as a camp counselor, I needed a camp name. For those who don't know what a camp name is, it's a nickname that campers call you, so it's easier for them to remember. I chose Cha-Ching, like the cash register. Problem was, some of the younger children couldn't quite pronounce it. So throughout the summer, I was called Ching Ching, Ching Cha, Ching Chong, and my personal favorite, Ping Pong. Needless to say, after that, I changed my camp name. Growing up in a Chinese household in Canada, I didn't quite know where I fit in. I was a foreigner in Canada because I looked different, spoke English with an accent, ate funny smelling food with 2 sticks. But I also became a foreigner in China because I spoke Chinese with an English accent and didn't quite understand their pop culture. I wasn't 100% Canadian, but I also wasn't 100% Chinese. I didn't quite know where my true home was. I also experienced bullying and loneliness early on. Maybe I was too gentle or too outspoken or too naive. But for one reason or another, I was excluded from the crowd. I was mocked for not knowing all the latest songs or wearing on-brand clothes. For 2 years, I sat alone on the hour-long bus ride to and from school, and the bus driver became my closest friend. I remember one of the few friends I had at the time telling me that she hated being Chinese, and that if she could, she wanted to have blue eyes and blonde hair. I thought to myself, maybe I don't want to be Chinese either. Maybe that's why I could never fit in. So I tried to conform. I insisted on buying clothes from Aeropostale. I studied Billboard top charts like you would study a calculus textbook. And I blamed my family for my lack of acceptance. But as time went on, I realized that this wasn't what I wanted. Yes, I did gain more friends, but I was unhappy, and I felt fake. Over time, I realized that I didn't want to put on a mask to earn the fleeting approval of others. Over time, I learned that I didn't need to fit perfectly into a certain mold, and that I could find acceptance from others after I've really accepted myself. I've come a long way from that little girl crying alone on the bus. With the support of my family and the reliance on my faith, I emerged from that experience stronger and more determined. Embracing my cross-cultural identity empowered me to seize opportunities, to create change, and to see problems in a new light. I realized that my Chinese background allowed me to connect with a whole new world of people. At the Apple Store, I was the youngest employee and the only product specialist who spoke Mandarin. I was called over whenever a customer needed support in Mandarin, and I had the privilege of serving and connecting with many new Chinese immigrants through our shared language and background. Experiencing bullying and living between cultures gave me the courage to take bold risks. After all, if you already stick out, there isn't much to lose by trying something new. It fueled my energy, my passion, curiosity, and conviction to seek out new opportunities. Being a student doesn't mean that my impact is confined to the classroom. I carry this mindset in my work through the case comps and hackathons I love to compete in, through the clubs I work with, and the social enterprise that I lead. When I first heard about Roll-Up's vision, I knew it was something I wanted to be a part of. So many mobility devices are tossed into landfills each year, yet so many people need but can't afford one. Roll-Up helps fill that gap by refurbishing these used devices, providing transitional employment through that process, and connecting the devices to those who needed them. Since I joined Roll-Up as the general manager, we've diverted over 6,000 pounds of waste and provided wheelchairs and walkers to 15 communities in Ontario. I want to show students that you can work for something beyond just your grades and make a significant impact with your efforts. As a student, you also don't need to follow a conventional career path or an educational path for that matter. I didn't quite know what I wanted to do with my career, so I decided to take a year off from school to explore the intersection of technology and business. At BMO, I worked on agile projects and enterprise-wide initiatives, all harnessing technology to solve business challenges. One time, a team member and I were presented with a completely open-ended problem. After ideation, research, and prototyping, we created an innovative proof of concept that would not only address the issue, but also improve financial management for our customers and increase digital adoption KPIs. What started as a mini side project gained momentum, and we ultimately received sponsorship to move into MVP development. In my day-to-day work, I'm constantly problem solving and challenging myself to find better solutions to old problems. Last December, I was honored to receive BMO's Student of the Term Award for my contributions. Being both a student and a full-time employee gave me the unique perspective and enabled me to forge new paths. I know that I couldn't have done any of these things without the many women and mentors who supported me. I love what Winston Churchill once said. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. My mentors at BMO, at Western, and outside of work embody this spirit of giving. They saw potential in me and generously invested their time in my growth. And because of them, I have access to wisdom beyond my years and lifetimes of experience. I've lived in a lot of in-betweens, in many of these gray spaces, between Chinese and Canadian, between technology and business, between being a student and a full-time employee, between entrepreneurial action and corporate impact. I don't need to fit into just one category or love doing just one thing. I'm proud to know now that I'm both 100% Chinese and 100% Canadian. There is power at the intersection. Living in that gray space enabled me to boldly seize opportunities, to take risks, and to connect the dots in ways that others could not. None of us fit perfectly into molds. So I challenge you today, tap into your unique life experience, embrace those areas that seem contradictory, and don't be afraid to live in the gray spaces. You just might be surprised by what you find. Thank you.